What if I told you that on one night in 1983, a single decision by one man prevented nuclear war? And that decision was made in minutes, under extreme pressure, with incomplete information. And that if he had made a different choice, over 200 million people would have died in the first hour, September 26, 1983. A Soviet early warning system detects incoming American missiles, multiple warheads heading towards Soviet territory. It is an attack. The alarm sounds. Protocol demands immediate action. The Soviet officer on duty, Stanislav Petrov, has minutes to decide. Launch a retaliatory strike. Destroy American cities, kill hundreds of millions, start World War III, or trust his instinct. Petrov chose to trust his instinct. He reported the alarm as false, a computer malfunction, not an attack. He was right. The system was malfunctioning. But if he had been wrong, if it had been a real attack and he refused to launch, the United States would have destroyed Moscow, destroyed the Soviet Union, triggered global nuclear war. One man, one decision, between peace and apocalypse. And the terrifying part is this: it could happen again, today, right now, with the same weapons, the same systems, the same hair-trigger alert protocols, because the nuclear standoff did not end when the Cold War ended. The weapons are still there, over 12,000 of them, spread across the globe. Russia, United States, China, France, the United Kingdom, Israel, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and the systems that control them are old, vulnerable, prone to malfunction. What if today a false alarm is not recognized in time? What if the next Stanislav Petrov launches? Welcome to If History Repeats. Today, we go back to September 26, 1983, to the night the world almost ended, the officer who prevented apocalypse, and the question, are we still at risk? And here is the promise I will keep by the end of this video. I will tell you exactly what that one decision meant, how close the world came to destruction, and whether the systems that control nuclear weapons today are any safer than they were 43 years ago. If you are watching this, please subscribe. Every episode of If History Repeats explores moments when warnings were ignored and the disasters that followed. And today, we are exploring a moment when a warning was not ignored and how fragile that moment was. So let's go back to 1983. The Cold War is at its peak. The United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a nuclear arms race. Each side has thousands of warheads, missiles pointed at each other, ready to launch. It is called mutually assured destruction. MAD, the strategy that keeps the peace. If one side launches, the other retaliates. Both nations are destroyed. Millions die. The planet is irradiated. It is a terrifying way to maintain peace. Peace through the threat of annihilation. But the system depends on communication, on verification, on accurate information. What happens if the information is wrong? September 26, 1983. It is late evening in Moscow. Stanislav Petrov is on duty at Serpukhov 15, a Soviet early warning facility. His job is to monitor the radar, watch for American missiles, report any threats to military command. The facility is quiet, routine. Petrov is experienced. He has done this job many times before, but Petrov did not know that this night would be different. At 00:40 Moscow time, just after midnight, an alarm sounds. The radar shows incoming missiles, American ICBMs, multiple warheads heading towards Soviet territory. Petrov stares at the screen. His heart races. This is the scenario he has trained for. This is World War III beginning. Protocol is clear. Report immediately. Escalate the warning through the chain of command. Prepare for retaliation. But something feels wrong. The radar shows only a few warheads. An attack on the Soviet Union would involve hundreds, thousands, not a handful. And there is another problem. The early warning system depends on multiple sources: satellites, ground radar, verification from different locations, but the satellite system is malfunctioning. Only ground radar is working, only one source. One source is not enough to confirm an attack, but protocol requires reporting even unconfirmed alarms. Petrov makes a decision. He does not immediately report it as a confirmed attack. Instead, he calls his commanding officer. "I have a funny feeling about this," Petrov says. "All right, let's not make any hasty decisions. I'm still looking." It is an extraordinary statement, a calm voice. When protocol demands panic, when every training exercise screams, "Launch, retaliate, launch." But Petrov trusts his instinct. And then something happened that made his decision even more difficult. The system detected more warheads. The radar was updating, showing more incoming missiles. The threat was appearing to grow. Any rational commander would have launched by now. The evidence was mounting. The missiles were coming. The time window was closing. Petrov had minutes, maybe 15, maybe less. And then the waiting began. The Soviet military command was now involved. Higher-ups were being informed. The nuclear briefcase, the system for authorizing retaliation, was being prepared. Petrov was not making the final decision alone. But his assessment, his report that this was likely a false alarm, was crucial, and he stuck with it. "I have a feeling it is a false alarm," Petrov reported. He was betting civilization on his instinct. And then came the verification. Ground sensors were checked, satellites were reviewed, the data was analyzed, the early warning system was examined, and the conclusion was clear. Malfunction, satellite error. No actual American missiles were approaching. It was a false alarm. Petrov was right. If he had launched, if he had reported this as a confirmed attack, if protocol had been followed exactly as written, Soviet retaliation would have begun. American missiles would have detected the launch. The United States would have launched in response. In minutes, the world would have ended. 200 million people dead in the first hour, more dying in the days and weeks that followed, cities obliterated. Civilization collapsed, the planet irradiated, all because of a computer malfunction, a satellite error, a system failure. One man prevented that, not through heroism, not through military brilliance, but through instinct, through trusting his gut when every system told him to follow protocol. Petrov was not celebrated as a hero at the time. The Soviet Union did not announce his decision. It was classified, secret, unknown to the world. It was not until decades later that the full story emerged. And by then, people realized how close the world had come, how fragile civilization truly is, how dependent we are on the judgment of a single person, on the functioning of machines, on systems that could fail at any moment. Because here is what nobody wants to admit. The same systems are still in place, the same protocols, the same hair-trigger alert status, and the risk of accidental nuclear war is just as real today as it was in 1983. So here is the question. What happened after 1983? Did the world learn its lesson? Did governments realize how dangerous the system was? Did they disarm? The answer is no. Today, there are still over 12,000 nuclear warheads in the world. Russia has about 6,000 active warheads. The United States has about 5,800. China, France, the UK, Israel, India, Pakistan, North Korea, they all have nuclear weapons. Roughly 2,000 warheads are on hair-trigger alert, ready to launch in minutes. The same protocols that existed in 1983 are still in place. The systems have been upgraded slightly, but they are still old. Many components date back to the Cold War. The software has vulnerabilities. Patches are difficult to install because of security concerns. The human operators are still making split-second decisions under extreme time pressure. And the risk of false alarms has not disappeared. It has evolved. In 1995, a Norwegian scientific rocket was launched. Russian early warning systems misidentified it as an American missile. The Russian president was informed. For several minutes, the world was close to nuclear war again. A miscommunication, a misidentification, almost catastrophic. There have been computer system failures. In 2010, the US Nuclear Command Center experienced multiple system failures simultaneously. Communication lost, data corrupted. For a brief time, the most powerful nation on Earth lost control of its nuclear arsenal. Think about that. The most advanced technology, the most trained operators, the most redundant systems, and they still failed. What if that failure had happened during a crisis, during international tension, during a moment of miscommunication? The answer is terrifying. And here is what makes it unbearable. Stanislav Petrov made one choice, one decision, and the world was spared. But he broke protocol to do it. He went against his training. He trusted his gut when his orders said something different. Today, the protocols are the same. The systems are still vulnerable. And the next officer on duty might not have Petrov's instinct, might not make his choice. The nuclear weapons exist. The systems are active. The risk is real. And we are one false alarm away from civilization ending. Not slowly, not over years, but in hours, in minutes. If you made it this far, thank you. September 26, 1983. Soviet early warning system detects incoming American missiles. Multiple warheads. It is an attack, but Stanislav Petrov, a Soviet officer, has minutes to decide. Launch retaliation. Start World War III. Kill 200 million people. Or trust his instinct that the alarm is false. He chooses to trust his instinct. He reports it as a false alarm, a computer malfunction. He is right. The system was malfunctioning. But if he had been wrong, civilization would have ended. And here is the promise fulfilled. What that one decision meant. It meant humanity survived. It meant 200 million people continued living. It meant civilization was spared. All because one man decided not to follow protocol. Because he trusted his gut. Are we safer today? No. The weapons are still there. The systems are still vulnerable. The risk of accidental nuclear war is just as real. 12,000 warheads, waiting, ready, hair trigger alert. All it would take is another false alarm, another system malfunction, another miscommunication, and the next Stanislav Petrov might not be there, might not make the right choice. Share this with someone who refuses to look away. Next episode, Vietnam, 1961. The United States begins a military campaign. Soldiers are deployed to fight communist forces. The country is tropical, dense jungle, perfect hiding place for enemies. So the US military develops a plan. Chemical warfare. Spray the jungles with herbicide. Kill the plants. Destroy the enemy's cover. The herbicide is called Agent Orange. The government says it is safe, no side effects, just a defoliant, something to remove the trees. But it is not safe. Agent Orange contains dioxin, one of the most toxic chemicals known to man. Exposure causes immediate health problems and long-term devastation. Between 1961 and 1971, the US sprays 20 million gallons of Agent Orange over Vietnam, covering an area the size of Massachusetts. Millions of Vietnamese are exposed, and millions more are born with severe birth defects, limbs twisted, organs malformed, brains damaged. The government knows it is toxic. Internal studies show the danger. But the chemical is sprayed anyway, because winning the war matters more than the health of Vietnamese civilians. And the worst part, it could have been prevented. Scientists warned about dioxin. Researchers documented the dangers, but the warnings were ignored. The spraying continued. For 10 years, 20 million gallons, millions of victims, generations of suffering, a preventable tragedy, a chemical weapon used on a civilian population, an act of deliberate negligence. And the pattern continues today. Chemical companies still resist regulation. Governments still prioritize military objectives over human health. Corporations still suppress inconvenient research, because some disasters are not accidents. They are calculated decisions made by people who know the consequences but choose profit and power over human lives. I am if history repeats, and history always has something to say.